What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video, and today we're going to be looking at Rafaela side lane. Alright, so it's going to be a damage build Rafaela in the gold lane actually against this Hayabusa. As you can see, it's going to be Todak versus Bosskur. Obviously we don't really see this often. It's something unique that we have never seen, and I'm here to just go over it to show you guys whether it's actually a viable pick, or should you try it out in solo rank, should you try it out in 5-man rank, and so on. And we'll get to that at the end of the video. But before we move on to the video, guys, make sure to subscribe, like, and hit that notification bell for more analysis, tutorials, and many more. Alright, guys, so before we move on to the gameplay, we have to look at the draft first, okay? So we need to find out how the draft became like that for Todak. Why did Rafaela go into the side lane? Why did they draft for Faramis? We'll find out right now, okay? So looking at Todak's bans, they banned Selena, Jawhead, and Angela, which are really common. No surprises there that those are common bans in the current meta. Looking at Bosskur's bans, they banned Matilda, Paquito, and Benedetta, who are also very common bans right now in the current meta. And we see Todak actually first picking the Rafaela. Okay, so why is Rafaela being first picked now in the current meta? That is because a lot of teams from other regions are looking at Blacklist right now, since they're top 1 in MPLPH, and they're trying to imitate their draft. Right? Even though it might not be their playstyle, they still try to imitate it and try to perfect it. All right, or try to make it better on what compared to Blacklist has to offer. Okay, so moving on to the draft, let's try to fast forward just a little bit. Bosskur actually ended up locking in Cho and Granger. Alright, so the Granger is very, how do you say this? Very reasonable pick for me for Bosskur actually. It's a denied pick. If we could recall from the last video especially, I talked about this. Usually you pair up Rafaela with YSS, Granger, or Bruno. If you want to check out the previous video, it should be on the top left of the screen. I'll put a a note there where you can click and check out that video. That's the 3 marksmen that you want to pair out with Rafaela, but picking Granger on Boskur's side will deny Todak from picking that hero. Now for the Chu, I think Bosskur is also worried about a Claude pick on Todak's side, so they picked Chu to try to avoid a Claude pick on Todak's side. Because you could also do like a Rafaela Claude in some type of way, where Rafaela will just stick next to the Claude. Obviously you won't have the best early game objective, but late game it's just pretty scary. We've seen Bren do like a jungler Claude still, not a gold lane Claude, and they're not scared to do it, especially if they're really comfortable with that hero. Now moving on to the draft, let's fast forward just a little bit. Give me 1 second. There you go. Faramis and Uranus. Now the Uranus, very understandable, because it's really hard to burst Uranus, especially if you're already what's it called? Once you get to late game, it's hard for Granger to hit all his bullets into Uranus. He's just so fast, and he just heals way quicker, right? The only way to counter this is probably to have a Lunox on their draft, on Bosskur's side's draft, is to counter this Uranus. Now, for the Faramis pick, I'm not really sure. Honestly, there's like really no reason for a Faramis pick here. Maybe they have a special strat for it. I honestly don't know. The only strat that I know that you could do with Faramis is usually like a Masha Faramis, where you just push towers over and over, like as fast as possible, and you spawn every time you die, and then you just push towers and all that. That's the only strat I know with Faramis. Now Faramis could also play as a support, and try to bully the enemy team early stages of the game, since his respawn time is really short, especially once you've collected your souls. Moving on to the draft, but this is like the only pick that I'm kind of confused about, the Faramis. Okay, so right now I'm really surprised that Todak didn't pick YSS or even Bruno, because that's their combo, right? So now Bosskur has a chance to deny those heroes or ban them. Okay, so moving on to the draft, Lunox would probably be the best pick here, to be honest, before it gets banned. There it is. So Lunox is, the burst that you need to counter the Uranus, like I said earlier. And now Bosskur is banning. Let's ban. Okay, there's the Yisun Shin ban, like I said earlier. And let's see, they ban Alice for Todak's side, so to prevent the later stages of the game. If you notice Blacklist, like I said on the previous video as well, they really shine when they have a late game security type of hero like Harith, Alice, and so on. So this might be a hard ban right here as well for Todak side. I don't know, but we'll check it out. But for Bosskur, they should ban Bruno, and there it is. They did ban Bruno, so to avoid the combo with the Rafaela. All right. Obviously, there are other heroes that could go with Rafaela, such as Brody, right? Claude. Claude is not that good here since they have a knockup. But if you're not scared of the Cho and you're really comfortable with Claude jungle and you don't have Purify, so you'll be scared, you'll be pressured, then shoot, go for it. Moving on to the draft, they actually banned Boxia, right? To avoid countering the Uranus and the heals that Rafaela will give you. So that's also a good ban, honestly. It's not a bad ban. Now for Bosskur, they picked the Barats. Don't know why as well. Usually Uranus will out-rotate Barats because his mobility is a lot faster. In terms of wave clear though, they're about the same, honestly. It's like a 50-50 matchup, and they're both really tanky. But Uranus is a better pick, in my opinion, because his mobility is faster. So once he wave clears, he can respond to team fights a lot quicker. Okay, so that's why I think Uranus is a much better pick. Now Atlas gets picked here. I really don't know why as well, because they're not really a type of team comp where they stick together and all that. So I don't know why Atlas is picked there, but sure. I have a feeling that Todak is really not taking this team seriously based on how they play this game. Okay, so and the second game actually, if you watch the second game, and they pick lane for late game security, because if they don't have late game, they're kind of screwed. Okay, this is really hard. This is a really hard team composition early game. So as long as Todak survives early game, they're good to go. Now for the last pick for the draft, they pick Hayabusa for some type of late game. All right. Honestly, they could have picked Claude here, but I think okay, now it makes sense. This Todak picked Atlas to deny a Claude pick. Okay, so if you have Atlas, you have a knockup, meaning that you could counter the Claude Blazing Duet. But then again, if you're a Claude gold laner, you have Purify, so you shouldn't be scared of of that. I think they should have picked Claude instead of Hayabusa, honestly. It would have been better for them. And it has AoE damage that could burst out these really high sustained heroes as well. But yeah, so that's the draft, and let's move on to the gameplay. Alright guys, so moving on to the gameplay, I'll break it down into several parts. Alright, so the first thing the first part will be the first blood. Alright, how did it happen? So as you can see, Rafaela and Hayabusa were already trading each other with first kill. They're both level 1. And Hayabusa actually cleared a lot faster, meaning that he cleared the minions a lot faster because he's level 2. So he has Shadow and he has Shuriken now. So he's going to be greedy. He also has Execute. So I think this is just a really greedy play from Hayabusa, I would say. But yeah, he's going to try to force to kill this Rafaela. But the thing is, Rafaela will actually hit level 2 here. And as soon as Rafaela kills this minion right here, she's going to have heal. So when Rafaela heals, he has a decent amount of HP right there coming back. Hayabusa goes for a greedy shadow play, and he's also very low at the same time. I don't really know what happened to Hayabusa's regen. It might have gotten cancelled. The camera wasn't on him, but he should not be this slow whenever you're trying to go for a greedy kill, right? You should let someone else go for it and try to get this kill. Plus, in a 1v1 matchup, usually Hayabusa will win anyways. So if you're Hayabusa, just get to level 4 and then you're good to go. After level 4, you can probably bully this Rafaela as much as you want. But in this case, Atlas actually saw that Rafaela is super low, and there's no problems top lane because Uranus is he's almost full HP. So the lane that actually needs help is the Rafaela. So it's pretty common or pretty self-explanatory or logical to gank Rafaela first for Todak, right? Or to help Rafaela first. Right here, Atlas gets a stun on Hayabusa, goes for a shadow back. Not really sure why he didn't go this way in this direction right here. Probably because he thought that Ling was going to be in that direction after clearing the blue buff. So that's why Hayabusa ended up forcing himself to give the kill to Rafaela with the first kill. As you can see, Rafaela right there on the minimap. Sorry, the camera's not exactly in there, but Rafaela getting the first blood. So to be honest, it's not because Rafaela is a super freaking unique, super good pick, right, in the side lane. Okay, as you can see, he has the is this Magic Worship or Impure Rage? I keep forgetting. I think it's Magic Worship. No, never mind. I think it's Impure Rage. But yeah, it's nothing special. I would just say it's an error on Hayabusa's side just really greedy. Alright, so let's move on to the next part of the video. Alright guys, so before we move on any further, I wanted to say that we're only going to be focusing on Rafaela's contributions and error during this game. Alright, so every death, every assist maybe, and then every kill that Siku does, we'll check it out. Okay, so for this right here, actually Todak just got done trying to invade Granger's blue buff, which is Team Bosskur's blue buff, but they failed. Granger still ended up getting it, and Siku is like really low mana. But he still got really greedy and went back into lane and tried to go for these minions right here, where Hayabusa is still full HP and about to hit level 4. So it's super risky for Siku to actually stay in lane with no mana at all. Especially he doesn't have flicker or anything, he's against Hayabusa. So this is like, I would say this is an error, and he's just really greedy for EXP at this point. He's trying to get to level 4, so that's why he got greedy for it, and Hayabusa just shadowed in, as you can see in the minimap, and got that kill, an easy kill on Rafaela. Alright, so let's move on when Rafaela respawns. Alright, so for this next one, Rafaela actually got another kill, so let's see how that happened. Right, so right here we see Granger and Lunox wanting to invade the red buff on Todak's side, and Chu is actually gonna recall for some reason. If you're trying to invade, you should invade as a team, and this is the, this is a sign that Bosskur is not really like, their synergy or chemistry is not full yet. They should have one goal, but right here, since they have no vision, the Chu recalled, they're gonna get sandwiched. So if Chu stayed here at least, or maybe here, they have vision, right? But instead, Chu recalled. Yes, he's quite low, but all he needed to do was kind of give vision to just, give ideas to Granger or Lunox to when to recall and retreat. But since they don't have that vision, they're gonna get sandwiched by Rafaela, Atlas, Faramis, and Ling here. Let's check it out. They did end up getting the red buff, but at what cost, right? At what cost? So right here, we're gonna see a really good Todak chemistry right here, where they went for a Lunox that's really low HP, forced Lunox to actually go for a light form, and focus on Granger, alright? You notice that Atlas and Faramis are actually ignoring Lunox after the Atlas, missed the ulti because Lunox light form, and they went straight into the Granger, which is the jungler, which is more important for them if they delay this jungler. So that just shows you how much more experienced Todak is as a team, right? So that's the second kill we see from Rafaela. Moving on to the next one. Alright guys, so for this next one, Rafaela actually got another kill, and the reason why is because Flint, who is Lunox, actually got ulted by the Atlas. I'm not sure why he didn't light form, but he tried dark forming here, 3-man set, and then as soon as Atlas went for an ulti, Rafaela goes for another ulti. Since Rafaela is building damage, obviously his ulti is gonna have some decent amount of damage as well on the Lunox. So that's how he got the kill, and he actually managed to heal the Atlas and made Atlas go away as well and survive, right? This guy I don't know why he went in, to be honest. I don't know why Uranus went in, but yeah. The team fight was already done. He didn't have to, go into the team fight anymore because they're all retreating. So the Uranus, I would say, was probably out of position right here. Yeah, he still went for it, to be honest. Or maybe he was just trying to help his teammate get away, which he did, I guess. But that was uncalled for. Honestly, he didn't need to do that. Rafaela had flicker, plus Rafaela has heal for movement speed, and that because of that, Uranus is gonna die right here. Okay, so it's like a 2-for-1 trade or 1-for-1 trade, but Bosskur got the turtle. Okay, but yeah, move on to the next one. Alright guys, so for this next one, Rafaela is actually gonna die. So let's see what happened here. Okay, so we all know that Team Bosskur, they have the better draft early game. Okay, they have the better draft early game. They have the, or let's just say mid game, because we all know Ling is a late game type of hero, so he needs to itemize first before he can actually make some impact. The only early game they really have is, to be honest with you, probably Rafaela and Faramis, maybe? I would even say Faramis. I would even argue Faramis is like a mid game, late game hero, especially if you're building him damage with Magic Worship right there. But yeah, let's see. Granger's actually gonna try to get this turtle. They're gonna try to burst the link, so force him to ulti. And Atlas actually focused the Granger, that's good. The Granger got ulted by Atlas, and Rafaela tried following up by going in, and now he's in the middle of the team fight, and because of that, he's gonna get killed by Hayabusa. Flickers out, Faramis actually ultis, but he still gets killed by Chu right there. Right, Rafaela gets killed by Chu right there because he was in the middle of the team fight. Earlier, Rafaela got an assist, but I'm not gonna include it in the video because it was just simply a heal that got Rafaela the assist. But in this case, Rafaela died here because he just got into the middle team fight. So I wouldn't say it's an error. It's just that Team Bosskur, they have a better early game draft or team composition. As you can see, Team Bosskur's goal lead is around 4,000 or so. So you could really tell that, you know, their draft early game is much better. But if it does get to late game, and if Bosskur does not end the game as fast as possible, since it's like a ticking bomb, then Todak has a chance of coming back. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. Alright guys, so for this next one, Rafaela actually gets a kill and an assist here. So let's see what he does. He ended up poking the Hayabusa. Granger still got the turtle, by the way, so even more objectives for Bosskur. And I think they get an assist. Rafaela gets an assist on this one, and Link gets that kill, and he gets a kill on Chu right here with the last hit with the first kill, I believe. There it is. And he's gonna try to kill the Hayabusa, but Hayabusa could shadow out. And I don't know if they're gonna be able to kill this Lunox, which I don't think they will, since he won't. Maybe he will, I'm not sure. He won't. Okay, so Rafaela's heal is just way too much for Lunox, but he ended up getting a kill there in the middle of the team fight. So far, like, I don't see this as being like a mind-blowing draft or a pick. Jeez, it's just like, I don't know, I really feel like Todak's trolling Bosskur. And I feel like they're just that confident in themselves, okay? And I'll explain more about it as to why I think of that, okay? Let's move on to the next one. All right, guys. So for this one, Rafaela is actually going to get a death here, and it's not. I don't think it's gonna be seen in the minimap because it's gonna be down here, okay? You need to look at the minimap to see what happened, right? So Granger probably poking with either first kill. We see Chu right there as well with the Barats and Lunox. So it's gonna be a 4v2 situation here, and these guys are doing a 3v1 situation against this Hayabusa. So it's kind of they're both teams are trying to trade kills from each other. Team Bosskur, by the way, is still 4,000 gold ahead, and they still haven't finished the game. It's already 10 minutes in, and they're just waiting for the next lord. Okay, so Rafaela right here probably mispositioned, got kicked by Chu right there, as you can see, and that's how he got killed right there on the bottom side of the map. And Atlas also gets killed right there, and Bosskur gonna try to get an inhibitor tower here, and because of that they do get an inhib tower, so this is actually really good for Bosskur. Ling is gonna try to trade it with a second tier tower at least, so they have something, and Bosskur is probably gonna get ready for Lord after this. Alright, so yeah, let's see what happens when Rafaela respawns. Alright, so for this next one, Rafaela actually just got assists. Alright, so he was Siku was 4-3-2 earlier, got 2 assists earlier from killing Granger twice. So the reason why the situation is like this, since I'm not going over the whole game, I don't want to go over the whole game, is Granger got picked off twice and kind of mispositioned twice pretty much, and kind of threw, to be honest with you. That's pretty much what happened. And Rafaela was just healing. Nothing. He didn't make like a flicker ulti play or anything. Nothing special. But I think this play right here is pretty significant to is a good contribution. Okay, that's why I want to include it. So right here we see Rafaela giving movement speed to Promise to try to help the Uranus here from getting killed. Gives more movement speed so that Lunox actually gets damaged by Uranus. And actually the Chu focuses Rafaela right here, gets kicked. The Chu actually kicks the Rafaela. Now Rafaela has flicker, so he cannot purify the Chu kick, but Rafaela has Winter Truncheon, so that means the Chu kick got baited in a way. So, and he even gives more movement speed to try and chase out anybody that tries to run away. Now it's a 5v2 situation, which will give Todak a chance to get that Lord and try to end the game with this level 2 Lord, Enhanced Lord. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. Alright guys, so for this next one, it's actually a 4v5 since Uranus is dead. So both teams are trying to contest for the Lord, but I think it's going to get reset right there. And Siku is right here, the Rafaela. So let's make sure to keep track where he's at, what's happening. And I think he gets ulted by Barats here to try and regen. Barats is going to regen a little bit. Rafaela gets stunned into a wall. Now he doesn't have Winter Truncheon at this point. It's on cooldown. Did he ulti right there? Let me make sure. No, Rafaela does not have ulti, so he's just healing and using first skill to slow enemies down. But he gets kicked by Chu. So Rafaela actually wasted 2 ultis here, alright? So he wasted, the Barad's ulti and the Chu kick, which is, that's a lot of resources, especially, dude, you're a Raf and people are using 2 ultis on you. That you should not be doing that. If anything, they should be using the Barad's ulti on Ling or the kick on Ling, alright? So this is just, I would say, Bosskur's fault for not using their resources or their skills correctly. You see this guy, he's just in the back line trying to just chill out, wait for everything to happen, and that's how Rafaela died. Sure, he died, but so many wasted resources from Bosskur here, right? A lot of skills wasted. So that I think that's something that Bosskur needs to look at. Use their skills, especially their crowd control, to heroes that really needs to be focused instead of a freaking Raf, right? A Raf, which will not win you a team fight, by the way. Okay, let's move on. Alright guys, so this is like the last few moments of the game. We're gonna see Hayabusa ulti here, but he's gonna end up dying to Faramis right there. Atlas tries to go for a set on Chu and Lunox, but Lunox was a little bit too far away. And I'm actually not sure how Lunox and Chu got bursted here. As you can see, they just got bursted. I'm not really sure how that happened, because Faramis is right here. It's not Faramis. It's the Ling most likely. Yeah, it's either the Ling or the Rafaela, to be honest with you, that did the damage right there. Because as soon as Ling went down from the wall, watch, we could maybe slow it down. Let's see. You see Ling right here. He's gonna first skill, goes down to a wall. As soon as he goes down to a wall, this guy's health just freaking completely melts. Right there. See, he completely melts, gets killed by Ling. And for Chu, I don't know how he got melted as well, honestly. But it's between Raf or Ling, one of those two. But at this point, it's done. Team Bosskur is done. They're like, it's a 1v4, 1v5 with 40-second death timers. It's just, they're confident at this point, and it's GG, well played. They're gonna turn around, and they actually don't want to even end the game as fast as possible. They're trolling, recalling, and stuff like that, and they still end the game here though. Even after this gets cleared, it really doesn't matter. And they end the game. Alright, so for me, in conclusion, the Rafaela is not really like a game-changing pick, and I don't think it's a good pick. I don't think you should try it out in solo rank, and I don't even think that you should try it out in 5-man rank. I honestly think that Todak just beat Bosskur as a team. Right? They just play better as a team. They met their win conditions. They know how to win with the draft they're given. Right? Even though, to be honest with you, this draft probably should have won. They just didn't use the resources correctly. Alright, but before we go on to the end of the video, let's check out Rafaela's damage. Alright guys, so here we are on the post-game screen showing you guys the damage that Rafaela and Faramis did. Faramis actually did the most damage, right? The most damage in the game out of Todak's team, and Lunox did the most damage in the game, since Lunox does have the light form that does damage over time, and Lunox does have the burst with the dark form. Now, why is it that Ling has less damage than Rafaela? That is because Ling will only output damage when he's trying to kill someone, go for an assassination. That's why Ling is an assassin. But Rafaela, on the other hand, is a damage over time type of hero. So in most cases, even when there's no team fights that are happening, Rafaela is able to poke with first skill, even if it's against Barads, Chu, even if they're tank, and he deals that much damage. That's why Rafaela did more damage than Ling in this case. Hopefully that makes sense. Alright, but does this prove anything? Does Rafaela having more damage than Ling show that, oh, Rafaela is actually a viable pick side lane? I honestly still don't think so. Alright, but feel free to comment down below what you think on the comment section, right? And let me know what you think. I want to see what you guys' opinions are with this Rafaela pick. But for me, I still think it's a troll pick. And continuing as to why it's a troll pick, if we move on to their next game, you'll actually see that Todak went into a more serious type of draft. Honestly, it's a more understandable draft rather than a Rafaela side lane. And you'll see them kind of have like a one-side game. The kills are not too far off, but if you look at the gold lead, 15,000 to 20,000, it's just not even close. At 7 minutes, 7 minutes, all right? But if we move on even further in the video, look at the gold lead, 12,000 gold lead. That's how one-sided it was. And you see look at what Todak is doing. So I really think that the first game was just for shits and giggles, and then the second game was like, all right, let's close this out. We're done. We're done. They're not even doing the Lord, you know. They just want to end the game. They just want to troll. Look, even Estes use heal for no reason when they're full HP. That's just complete disrespect right there. Look, complete disrespect right there, and that's why I really think that Todak was just trolling first game, and they're laughing. They're having fun with it. So yeah, I don't know. Yeah, these guys are laughing. Even the the players from Bosskur are laughing. I'm sure they're good friends outside of the game, so probably no hard feelings involved. But either way, that's what I mean by, okay, it's probably not like an intentional, okay, this is our plan, Rafaela sidelane. Okay, so please don't try it out in rank. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. That will be all for today. Do not forget to subscribe. Don't forget to hit the like button. And don't forget to hit the notification bell before you leave. Also, lastly, don't forget to comment down below your opinions about this Rafaela pick that we just saw today. Okay, thank you guys. I'm out. Peace.